Hello, my beautiful friends. Thank you so much for stopping by. My name is Becky, and welcome to Kinda Shabby. Each week, I share kinda shabby but always chic, crafty inspirations. Now, today's crafty video is special to me for several reasons. First of all, I am collaborating with my sweet friend Favi at Arrows DIY. We both have 4 shabby chic DIYs to share with you today, but Favi also does farmhouse, boho, and other decor styles as well, so you are sure to find something you'll love. Secondly, we're going to be using a new crafting tool. I am very familiar with the Iron Orchid Designs stamps and also their clay molds, but I have never used a transfer. So we are going to be updating some items here using the Iron Orchid Designs Ephemeral Mélange Transfer Collection. We're going to be painting and updating this silver teapot. We're also going to be updating this wood door. And finally, we'll use a maple syrup jar and a spice container to add some shabby chic decor to our homes. So let's go ahead and get these projects started. So before we paint our teapot, let's take a look at our collection. It shows you here on the back what each one looks like, and I will do a flip through for you. It also has all of your instructions here, and then it's got your little transfer tool that actually comes in your package. Your collection comes with 8 8x12 sheets. Several of your designs are actually the entire 8x12 sheet. So we have this beautiful red rose bouquet. Look at that. All of these peachy blush colors in there. How gorgeous is that? This one is also another large 8x12 sheet. And look at that, how beautiful. The little flowers and the sweet little girl there. How sweet is that? Then you have several sheets that have much smaller designs. Some of these designs are 2.5 by 2.5. Some of them are, this one is 1 inch by 2.5 inches. So there are several different designs on here, all beautiful and just those gorgeous shabby chic French designs. Then you have some smaller rose themes and other florals. Then these are also small and they look like little seed packets. How beautiful is that? These here in your collection are a little larger, and these are going to be your 5x4. And how gorgeous are these? So pretty. So again, in all you get 8 sheets that are full of all of these beautiful shabby chic designs. We are going to be using the Waverly Chalk Paint in the color Plaster to update the look of our pot. And this thing is in pretty rough shape and it is just begging for a makeover. But it has great lines and it's just going to be so beautiful when we get this all updated. And because this is a light color, it's probably going to take me 2 coats. And painting things like this on a Lazy Susan makes it easy as well. And she is looking better already. I'm going to let this dry, then I will come back off camera and add a second coat, and then we'll move on to the next part of this project. So I've got my 2 coats on there and I think it looks fantastic. And I also went and added my Minwax water-based polycrylic. The instructions on the back suggest that when you're using chalk paint, before you put your transfer down, that it should be sealed. And I really love this beautiful rose collection here, so I'm just going to go ahead and trim this out of my book. So your transfer is actually in 2 parts. The top part is a clear gridded plastic that actually holds your transfer on that, and then you have your backing paper. The transfer itself is pretty tacky, so you don't want to be touching that sticky surface. When you are applying a flat item to a rounded object, it's not going to just lie flat. So we're going to be working in sections. First of all, line it up, determine what I think looks good to me, and we are going to tape over 1/2 of our design. And we do this so our transfer does not move on us. So now we are going to pull up this section here, fold it back on itself, and cut away this section of our paper. And to help this to lie flat, on areas where there is no design, I'm just going to cut some snips in there to help that lie down a little easier. Then I can take my hand and I'm going to work from this section here out like that. And we're going to work in very small sections. So we're going to take our scraper tool and we're just going to do this section right here. Look at that. It looks beautiful already. I'm going to move some of this tape so I can start working on these other sections here. Now I can carefully lift up this section here, and now I'm going to trim away this excess paper. And because this is already transferred, cut this excess away. And you wouldn't need to do this if you were working on a flat surface, which we will be doing on our door. So our door is going to be much easier. And I'm also going to come and make a snip right in here so that will lie flat. Now I'm going to move my tape around just a little bit. And now I can move this up and remove the rest of my backing paper. Maybe a curved surface wasn't the best to begin with, but hey, you never know until you try. That is just so pretty. And as that is releasing, I'm going to cut this excess plastic away, and because this is all transferred, I can cut this excess off too to help this section down here to lie flat. Curved surfaces can be extra tricky, but as long as you just don't get in a hurry and you take your time, it will turn out just beautifully. And that is just stunning. Oh my goodness, I love it. That is so pretty. And now we're going to take just a small section of our transfer sheet and we're just going to very carefully rub over our design just to make sure that we don't have any edges sticking up and that everything is applied to our surface below. That is so beautiful. The only thing that I messed up, the letter K is a little off right here, but other than that, that is just so stunning. So let's go ahead and get started on our door. Well, the experimentation continues and I can't wait to see how this one is going to turn out. This piece right here is not going to fit in this section of the door, so I'm just going to take my scissors and trim that away. You don't have to use the entire transfer. You can use whatever is going to work best for you. So now what we're going to do is just center it up. And I've got it all taped down so it's not going to go anywhere. And again, we're going to take our scraping tool and just begin to rub to transfer that from our backing sheet onto the door below. This is what we have so far. I have transferred the upper half and that is just so beautiful. I love these. So we're just going to keep scraping and pulling back. And it also is normal to hear some popping, crinkling sounds as the transfer releases from the backing paper. And again, we're going to just rub over it to make sure that everything is down and we don't have any edges sticking up that would catch on something and then pull up your transfer. I just love how these transfers are turning out. They are so beautiful. And now I'm going to be using some strips of cheesecloth, but you could use an old sheet, you could use a drop cloth, whatever you have on hand. And these are about 1 inch wide. One of my strips is about 36 inches long, and then the other 2 are 24 inches long. And we're going to be making 3 little rolled fabric flowers. I'm also going to be using my hole punch. I've got one that I'm going to do at 2 inches and 2 at 1.5 inches. But if you don't have these punches, you most certainly could trace something to achieve the same thing. And I'm just punching these circles out of cardstock. And I'm going to start with my larger 2-inch circle and my longer strip of fabric. And you're going to take your strip and you're just going to fold one corner down. And your tip right here, you're just going to roll that in a couple of times. And that's going to start the center of your flower. I'm going to put just a tiny little bit of glue just to get that started. So I'm going to bring this bottom edge up, twist this away from me, and then roll this a couple of times. And that's going to help us to get our center started. And again, twist it away and then roll it. And so that has a nice little start to our flower. And you're just going to take that and glue it to the middle of your rounder here. That little white circle shows up much better on a pink mat. Put a little glue in the middle. And we're going to continue the same process of twisting your fabric, and then we're just going to roll it around our disc. And twist it away and roll it around. And then every now and then, I just put a little bit of glue there just to kind of hold everything in place. I like using the cheesecloth because it gets nice and tattered looking. I really like that. And that's all we're going to do to continue to go around our entire circle here. And as you do that, you can see your little rolled flower taking shape. Now that I've gone all the way around, I have all of this excess here. So I'm going to trim this off and then twist the rest of this and glue that edge to the back. How cute is that? And then I'm going to take my remaining 2 circles and my remaining fabric strips, and I'm going to do the same thing with those. And I've got our little flowers finished, and I'm going to glue a bead in the center of each one of our little flowers here. You just need a little tiny dot of glue. And I'm going to see how I like my flowers to look. I like that. So I'm going to go ahead and glue those into place. I'm going to tack that down right there so that corner doesn't come up. And then I have this beautiful piece of hardware here, and because this is a door, I'm just going to glue that. I think that's going to be really pretty. I like that. I think that looks really good. So let's go ahead and move on to our next project. So I'm going to be turning my maple syrup jar into a soap dispenser for my bathroom because I discovered that this pump from this soap dispenser fits perfectly onto the threads of my maple syrup jar. And I want to use this one and this one. I like those colors. They coordinate with each other, and I think that the gold in the design of each of these will look good with the gold that's on the pump right here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut those 2 out and tape that in place. I'm going to lift up and cut this part of the transfer paper away. Pull that out. I can. All right, there we go. Perfect. And again, we're just going to rub over it with our transfer tool. That is so pretty. And again, we're going to take our piece of our transfer sheet and we're going to just gently rub to make sure all of those edges are smoothed down. Okay, now I'm going to get the next area on there, and I think that that is going to be a little tricky because this is a highly ridged area, and if it doesn't work and I don't like it, I'll just take a razor blade and scrape it off. Line that up perfectly. I'll get some tape and tape it down, and we'll start doing the same thing. And I'm just going to start in the middle and just try and work it over those edges and into those depressions. So I'm going to leave this side taped down, and now I'm going to remove this backing sheet and do the transfer from the middle out this way. I like that. I think that is really, really cute. And again, we're going to take a piece of our transfer paper and we're going to rub, just making sure all of our edges are down. And I'm definitely going to make sure that I've got good adhesion in those ridges. I don't see any gaps. It looks like it laid down flat on there. That is just so beautiful. So to accent my little soap dispenser, I just took some ribbon and tied a bow around there. I was going to make a shabby tassel, but I know that this is going to be getting wet and it'll be easy to just replace that little bow as needed. I also thought about using dishwasher safe Mod Podge to coat this, but I was afraid it might make it too shiny. So I'm just going to take some clear wax and a soft cloth and go over that to protect the surface from any water that may get on it as it's being used. So I put just a tiny amount on my rag, and I'm just going to rub that over my transfer and going around the edges just a little bit to completely cover the design. And I'm going to do the same thing here at the bottom as well. Then I'm going to take a clean section of my rag and I'm just going to buff it. And that is all there is to it. How pretty is that? I'm actually going to put flowers in this and set this on my tiered tray. So I want to use this one that has the beautiful violets on there. And now I'm very carefully going to come up underneath here and cut and remove this plastic label from my little spice jar. And again, our grid lines make it so easy to line everything up and tape it in place. And I just like to do one half at a time. It's just easier for me. And again, we're going to take a piece of our transfer sheet and just rub over to make sure every one of our edges is stuck down. And now I need to fancy up my little spice container. Look at that. I'm planning on putting some little flowers in there, but I didn't want to see the floral foam and all of that stuff, and I want to put some paper in there. I played around with some cardstock just to see what size I would need, and for my little container, a 6 1/4 inch long by 2 inch high is gonna work. And so I'm gonna roll it up on itself like that, tuck it in my jar, and then fan out the paper. That just looks better already. The paper coordinates and it makes the label stand out from the background. I just really like that. So now I just need to get some little florals in here. So I want to add this little piece of trim here at the top. I always save my scraps, and this is going to be the perfect size to fit around my little jar. It just gets cuter and cuter. Now I have taken some floral foam and tucked it in there so I can put some flowers in there. And this is a little pick that I purchased at Walmart, and I am pretty sure that these came from Dollar Tree. So I'm just going to trim off and use just these little blossoms at the top. I think this is going to look so cute. And I'm going to pull off these pieces, cut these apart to make it easier to work with. I have my little flowers tucked in. Now I want to tuck in some of the greenery. I think that looks really cute. I like that. Now I just need to get everything styled up and give you a closer look at all of this week's Trash to Treasure projects. I hope you enjoyed these Trash to Treasure projects using the Iron Orchid Designs transfers. They are easy to use, and the beautiful images made these ordinary items look oh so pretty. Be sure to visit Arrow's DIY and say hello to Favi. Her links are in the description box below. Please remember to subscribe for more kinda shabby but always chic, crafty inspirations. And until next week, my sweet friends, be blessed.